Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Tao Masalonyane, and I'm from Demagi. Today, I will be demoing our campaign solution, which we developed together with the World Health Organization and the Gates Foundation. And we built the solution on Comcare, which is an open source data collection platform developed by Demagi. And the heart of the campaign solution is really, firstly, to enable the rapid mobilization of campaign workers. And then, secondly, to address payment issues around how much campaign workers can expect to be compensated and when they can anticipate to receive that compensation. And so, essentially, this solution streamlines worker enrollment as well as activity tracking to enable programs to better identify workers who qualify for payments and to facilitate that payment using mobile money. And so we have deployed the solution in various countries, such as Nigeria, Cameroon, Congo, Burkina Faso, and several other countries on the continent. So now I have logged in as a campaign administrator who's responsible for enrolling campaign workers. And so I will use the first module called enrollment to register the campaign workers, to collect information around their identity and mobile money details, and then to verify that information so that I can facilitate the payment. So let's get started. All right. So the first step is to notify the campaign worker about the information that I will be collecting throughout the enrollment process and to acquire their consent to do so. Once I have that, I can move on to one of the key components of the solution, which is the KYC verification or the Know Your Customer verification process. It's essentially a validation mechanism used to ensure that the correct campaign worker will be receiving payment in due time. And so what happens is I will share the displayed code on the screen with the campaign worker, who will then input it onto their phone. And their mobile network operator will then share a name associated with that phone. And if that phone does, if the name that is shared by the mobile network operator does not match with the campaign worker's ID card, I will then advise them to approach their MNO to address the discrepancy. But should it match, then we can proceed with the enrollment process. And so next, we would then add their mobile number. And we will add their details around their name and surname, date of birth, their gender, and their identification card. We can also add when their ID card will expire. And we're able to take a picture of the card. For now, I'll just take a picture of the laptop. And so one of the cool things that we have in the solution are alerts that notify you when there's an error or an issue that comes up. And so as you can see, we have already registered a person under this ID number. And so it alerts me to say that I cannot complete the process using this ID number. And so I have to go back to enter a number that hasn't been registered previously. And then I can move on with the process. Next, we would take a picture of the campaign worker. And then we can proceed. Here we have the location. And so this is where the campaign worker will be working. So it's Region 3, Subdistrict 50. We can also record the location. And then we will now have to select the category which the worker will be supporting as. And lastly, we have a summary of all the information that we've just collected. And the last thing to do is just check with the campaign worker to see whether this information is accurate. And once they have confirmed the accuracy, they will need to provide a signature just for assurance. Okay, following the enrollment, I then will use the second module called team selection. And so this module is essentially, again, to verify the information that we collected and to assign the campaign worker to a specific campaign and to also give them a specific role that they will be partaking as in the campaign. Okay, so we search for Faye. And there we go. We have an overview of the information that we just collected around their ID, their name, and also the location which they will be supporting. Next, we say we want them to partake in the 2026 campaign as a vaccinator. And then we have a summary again of the information we previously collected and also which campaign they'll be partaking in and what role they'll be playing, which is a vaccinator in sub-district 50. Again, we need to confirm that this information is correct. Okay, and so something that is really useful about Comcare and this solution in particular is that it can work offline. So when campaign workers go into the field and there's no connectivity, you're still able to use it to collect data and information. You just have to sync it to the server once you have connectivity. And so that is what I was doing there so that the information translates and we can see it. So now I'll hop over onto the supervisor app. And the supervisor's responsibility is essentially to validate everything that comes from the campaign administrator in terms of who will be partaking in campaigns and as well as their time cards. And so I will go on to the validation module. And so as you can see, there are 2 people that still need to be validated so they can commence working on campaigns. And so if you remember, we selected the 2026 campaign and we're in need of a vaccinator. And there we have Faye that comes up. And then we have a summary once again. Faye will be a vaccinator for sub-district 50. And yes, we want to validate this team member so they can participate in the campaign. And then we go back to the administration application. Recruiter. Okay, and this time we want to essentially track their attendance. And so we would use the attendance sheet module. And something to note is when we're using the actual solution and not the demo app, we are able to track attendance as the campaign is going on. But for the sake of the demo, we'll be recording the activity retroactively. So we will say that Faye participated, or the campaign rather, took place last week and is ending today. And so there was a vaccinator that participated. And there we have a list of all the vaccinators that participated in the 2026 campaign, but we are looking specifically for Faye. And then we want to say that she worked for 4 days during the campaign. Again, we can record the location. And we have a summary of Faye's attendance throughout the campaign, which is 4 days as a vaccinator. And then I, as the administrator, would have to confirm the accuracy of this. And again, I do so by providing a signature. And then the last step in this loop is to go back to the supervisor app to validate that Faye did indeed complete 4 days of work during the 2026 campaign. And so we go to the validate time, and we're looking for a vaccinator. And as you can see, there's a list of individuals who've previously taken place in campaigns, but we are looking for, hold on, I think I didn't sync. Excuse me, sorry. Okay, but essentially, maybe let me just show you here. Oop. But essentially what happens is the supervisor would then validate the fact that FAIR did participate in the 2026 campaign as a vaccinator. And what that does is essentially kick off the final round or process of the solution. And so now the campaign finance administrator is able to make a payment to FAIR using the mobile money details that we provided initially in the enrollment phase. So it's quite a simple app, although I had to rush it a bit. But essentially, using this solution, we've been able to reduce the time it takes for campaign workers to receive their payment. Historically, or like usually, they'd have to wait months following a campaign before they receive their compensation. But using this solution, that time has reduced drastically to just a couple of days. So we're really excited to see where else this solution can be used for. We use it in polio campaigns, in yellow fever campaigns, in malaria campaigns. So yeah, thank you so much for your time and attention.
Thank you so much too. As we transition, if anybody has a quick question, and then up next, we will have a presentation by Elaine, which I'll introduce in a second. But if anybody has a quick question to you. Going once? Alan, thank you.
Hi, thanks for the presentation. For the supervisor approval process, is there a functionality within CommCare that allows for, sorry, Dimaji, that allows for through a platform rather than through the mobile app? Or is it all through the mobile app process?
My boss is here. So yes, it is possible.
All right. So coming up next, we will have a tech demo entitled Breaking Silos at the Last Mile, Interoperable Systems for Field Operations, presented by TerraWorks. Elaine, the floor is yours.
Great. Hi, everybody. My name is Elaine Chang. I'm the CEO of TerraWorks, and we're talking about our last mile distribution tool. So we call this TerraWorks Enterprise. Thank you. Okay, so just a little bit about TerraWorks. We are an offline tool that's built to extend Salesforce, the Salesforce database, to offline field agents. And the way it works, we have two tools. One that's based in Salesforce native. It's where all the data management happens. Oh, okay. Thanks. And where the administrator can manage what the field agents are asking and permissions. The corresponding app is the Android app, and that's where field agents are able to see information from that central database offline, log their activities over time, and then TerraWorks is in the middle with that two-way sync for dissemination and information capture. So over time, aside from tracking service, in activities, we also heard there was a need for tracking last mile distribution of products. And so we developed the Terra Enterprise solution, which is an add-on inventory management system, and it covers 3 areas. It helps organizations track the procurement of products. How do you get information products into the organization? How do you transfer them around from maybe a major port to more inland areas that are more offline? And then how do you track that last distribution of the item to a participant or through a sale? So let me just switch over to Salesforce. Oh gosh. Okay, as that's loading, just to give some background, the fictional social enterprise that we'll be talking about right now is called SolarComb. They sell solar products and water filters. This could be completely customizable for TerraWorks. We're industry agnostic, so we've also worked with cook stoves, biodigesters, and menstrual pad materials. You name it, it doesn't matter to us. Okay, so for SolarComb, there's also activities in both Kenya and Tanzania, and I'm going to try to go through the personas of 4 people: an operations manager, a procurement manager, a warehouse manager, and a salesperson. So putting on my operations manager hat, this could be a dashboard that I'm looking at. This is just Salesforce. This is not TerraWorks. It's just out of the box Salesforce. But I could be looking at, inventory by quantity through all of my warehouses, by value. Can see which warehouses have stocked out, which warehouses have had the most inventory adjustments. Maybe I need to check in on them. What's happening there? Okay, so let's say that we need to get an order in. So now let me become a procurement manager. I'm going to create a Terra order. So there's 3 types of orders. One is the purchase. How are you purchasing items into this organization? How are you transferring orders around, and that final sale? So I'm going to start at the beginning and just purchase additional solar lanterns here. So I'll say that the date of the order was yesterday, started in a draft. Where is this going? So we have offices in Kenya and Tanzania. We're in Kenya, and this is going to our Kisumu warehouse. And we're going to expect it today. I'll save that. Now, what did I order? I can go in and add in, let's say, Sun King Pros, ordering 10 of them. Can track the cost of it. I could even put in, actually, no, that's somewhere else. Okay, save. I could also just keep putting in multiple products. For the sake of time, I'm just going to go with this one. Before I switch over to the mobile side, one thing with transfer orders, they're almost exactly the same as what you just saw, except instead of just coming in from a supplier, you put in which warehouse it's coming from and which one it's going to, so that the numbers will calculate. I won't go into that right now. Okay, I think before we move over there, oops. Let me just confirm this order. Okay, everything is good. So now let me switch over to being a, this is an emulator. I didn't want to try to use another connection here. So I am going to go into my jobs. Oh, sorry, I'm going to be a Kisumu warehouse manager now. So as a warehouse manager, these are some of the tasks that I might be tasked with. These are completely customizable. Some of the frequent tasks we've heard from our clients is they want to be able to view inventory levels. This is from that central database, even if they're offline. They want to create a replenishment request, receive an order, Um, purchase something locally, conduct a cycle count, which is kind of like a blind audit, or log an inventory adjustment, kind of an ad hoc adjustment. So for now, let's say that the truck is coming in with that order that was placed by procurement. I can start my job. Here's the one. Oh, that's not it. Oh, I didn't sync. Okay, let me go back to the order. Okay, that's the order that we just placed for the Sun King Pros. Date of receipt, that's today, yeah. So here's the order that we just placed as a procurement manager, but now I'm looking at it as a warehouse manager. 10 were ordered, 10 are due, and maybe 9 came off the truck. So I can log that, and then that'll update the system, but also say, hey, there's one more that's due to us. But I'm just gonna do the 10 for now. I can take a photo. Let me just skip over that for time. Are you expecting additional delivery? So if I had been shorted, I could say yes, but in this case, we're good. This is just a check, and that's it. I can mark this as complete. And if I don't have reception, again, this works offline as well, but I can say sync later, and I can see that there's something outstanding here that hasn't been synced. Some other jobs that I might be doing, let's say, yeah, inventory adjustment, kind of a one-time change. One thing I'm not going to do is switch over to becoming a salesperson. So I just added the sales job here. But let's say that I was logged in as a salesperson, I could see completely different sets of jobs here that are only sales related. And that just helps us make sure that whoever is logged in is doing the right jobs. But for the sake of time, just have the warehouse manager do the sale. We'll start this job. So who am I selling this item to? We'll sell this to Bridget. We can have different price books. So this could be by region, by country. So in this case, we just have the one. I am selling, say, Sun Kings and Pico Pluses. So where is this product reserved? So it already knows which warehouse I am linked to as the salesperson logged in. Expected delivery date, say it needs to be delivered 2 days from now. The customer name is already filled in, so you don't have to hand type it in and risk errors. How many are you buying of each? Let's say 2 Pico Pluses, 5 Sun King Pros. It'll calculate the total for you. We'll mark this as complete. And so we've done 2 jobs now for this. You can see that, and I'll sync it. So while it is syncing, let me just come back here and let's put on my ops manager hat again. So I can see different types of inventory back in my database. So here's all of the inventory that I'm expecting in Kusumu. Here's what's on hand physically in the warehouse. How many are available? How many are committed, which means that there's maybe been a sale of it, but it hasn't been delivered yet. So these are essentially like, don't touch these. How many are on order coming from the suppliers? So let me just make sure that it's synced. Yes. So let me refresh this, and we should see some updates in these Pico Plus and Sun King Pro numbers. Okay, and then back in the dashboard, if I refresh, these are pretty big numbers, so it might just change a tiny bit. There we go, a little bit. So that's kind of how you can track inventory. And then just quickly, I'm over time. For payments, we are integrated with OnAfrique, which is a mobile money platform, an aggregator platform. So as long as you have a wallet with them, and it's linked in here, we can start to pull in and reconcile any successful payments that this person has made. So in this case, we're looking at Mary's record. We can see all of the visits that have been made to Mary over time, so that longitudinal data about impact, sales of, in this case, water filters that we've made to Mary, what trainings she's attended, and her payment. So it gives you that 360 view of a customer or beneficiary, or could be a warehouse, anything like that. And that's it. That's how you get near real-time operations transparency. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Elaine. Again, any quick questions before we transition over? I see one. I'm going to go here first. Sorry, it's closer.
I'd like to ask, do you support QR codes? I'm thinking in the sense that maybe printing them out, stacking them on the items, and then when you want to check something out, scanning them back in instead of searching for the number?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we have the barcode scanner. You could do QR codes, you can do barcodes, you can have the codes already in the system so it looks up something, or you can put in a new number. So either.
Yeah, we have time for one more question.
Yes. Thank you very much for the presentation. Victor Adebayo is my name, Global Health Supply Chain Advisor for Catholic Relief Services. So I have two questions. The first one is your application able to track back orders? These are orders that were placed perhaps by the warehouse, but it's not available at the upper level of the supply chain. So it helps to more or less put it in a basket, and then you can recover when those supplies are available and resupply. So it's just products that were ordered, but were not available as at that time from the supplying agency. Then the second thing is on the...
Victor, we'll just go stick to one question.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
okay, yeah. I think let me follow up with you after. But you can do like global procurement, or you could also log local procurement as well. So if there's just like a local supplier in your town, you can just log that you got it from the supplier. But also if there's like lags in between when you order and when you receive it, we can track all of that as well. It's like the timings. But I don't know if I fully got your question, so I'll follow up with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Elaine. All right. Coming up, we've got a presentation by Maya from Red Rose entitled Dignity by Design, a people-centered approach to emergency response with Terracotta. The floor is yours.
Sure. Okay, right. Okay, hi everyone. I'm Maya from Red Rose. I'm actually here together with our director, Brian Healy. And in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to be speaking to you about two things. First of them is how a person who survived the disaster can register for a hurricane response, for a hurricane assistance program. In totally two different, yes. Like this? Okay. Okay.
in two very different environments. One person will have a smartphone and an ID, and the other one won't have neither. He will be registered in person by a field worker. And the second one is how a project program manager runs the program end to end from the operator's side, right? So everything that you will be, I hope, seeing right now was built with one principle in mind: meet people where they are and serve them with the same dignity. And also, the example that you will be seeing throughout the demo is actually a real one. It was a response to Hurricane Melissa that hit Jamaica in October 2025, sorry. So yes, we will be starting with Miss Williams. Miss Williams, she has a smartphone. She has a very good connection and she has an ID. So she will be registering herself in the mobile application. So if I can get the screen, I'm gonna show you how it works. Okay. Okay. Should I allow? All right. Okay. So the first thing that Ms. Williams sees when she opens the application is the select language screen, right? She selects English, but more than 50 languages are available in the application. Then she's trying to create her account using her email address, right? She puts in her email. She's going to receive a one-time link to her email address. She's going to click on it, and the app will take her basically to the profile setup step. So nothing super extra exotic, right? So the system meets her at whatever tech level she is already in. Yeah. And before anything else, good, we're here. Before anything else, the app is also showing her what's going to happen to her data, right? So this is not buried somewhere in the end of some form. Oops, sorry, I'm actually going a little bit fast. Okay. She knows the rights before she actually hands anything over. Now we're scanning the ID. Miss Williams is scanning both sides of her ID. And what's going to happen is that the system will read the document and basically fill in all of the fields automatically. If I'm able to. Yes. So here you can see the first name, surname, both in local language, in Latin alphabet, date of birth, etc. Basically, all of the data that's available on your ID, it's being scanned automatically, right? And she doesn't have to type anything that she doesn't have to. So this document scanning and OCR engine, it's already built into the application. Then the selfie verification. The system is asking her to take a selfie, basically. She lines up her face. Now, this is also, by the way, where the biometrics that application engine indexes against, right? So for example, if the beneficiary, if a person is trying to register once again, but in a different district, in a different parish, under a different name, the system will catch this, right? So this is what selfie is for. Now, her profile is confirmed, it's active, it's created, but normally the real programs in the field, they're not targeting individuals, right? They're targeting households in general. So here, Ms. Williams is able to add her household member or a codependent to her household. She's filling the same information as before: name, surname, date of birth, etc., etc. And then he will need to take a selfie as well. After that, his profile will be created under her profile, right? So this is one household and one record. Then when a program becomes available, when it's actually time to apply for assistance, the whole household is already accounted for, okay? Then, the second scenario is we're having our Mr. Bennett here. He does not have a smartphone. He has a very basic, simple feature phone. the connection in the area where he's staying is a little bit patchy. And most importantly, he doesn't have an ID. And this is in most systems where the story would end normally, right? But in this case, the worker, so the field worker from the organization, from an NGO, is logging in to the worker app on their device. And you see the offline toggle, right? He switches the connectivity off. And then, yeah, he is trying to register Mr. Bennett. So no connectivity is needed for what comes next. The worker is filling whatever Mr. Bennett can provide. We will choose his location, which is Jamaica in this case. And here you can see that the form is taking whatever is available, right? The form is not asking Mr. Bennett to provide any information or any documents that he doesn't have. Then the same selfie step, right? So even without the ID, this is exactly, the selfie verification is exactly what anchors Mr. Bennett's identity in the whole registry. So after that is taken, the phone number is being captured for future communication. He doesn't have an email. That is not a problem. We're just gonna skip email for now. And now you will see actually that the application check is being run automatically against the whole registry. Here you go. So we have Mr. Bennett's profile. His profile is active. He's in the registry. He's in the system. And he has the basic verification level of his profile because he hasn't provided an ID, right? But this is totally fine. The system accepts basic verification level. Basic is valid. And Mr. Bennett will be eligible for programs as well, right? So not having an ID is not a reason to exclude a person. It's a reason to design the system in a better way. Okay, now the worker is switching back the connectivity. So now all of the data that has been captured offline is being synced automatically to the registry, right? So the villages, like the area's connection is never a gating factor actually in this case. Now we are at the admin panel. This is the panel for the program managers, for the operators, right? And you see that the both profiles, however differently they were registered, are both on the system. Mr. Bennett's one has basic verification level, duplicate control checked, and Ms. Williams has standard verification level because she has provided ID. Duplicate control checked, no duplicates were found. So, this point here is that both profiles, however differently they were registered, they are in the same system and they're within the same structure. Now, both Ms. Williams and Mr. Bennett, they can apply for the programs, right? Ms. Williams will be doing this from her own phone. Mr. Bennett will be doing this with the help of the worker who registered him via the worker app. But basically the process flow is the same in both scenarios, right? So here, for example, Ms. Williams, she found a vaccination reminder campaign. She subscribed to it. She's going to receive notifications each time she's due for a vaccination. Okay. So the point here is that she is already known to the system, right? She doesn't need to do re-registration again. She doesn't need to do resubmission of her documents, right? She's known to the system, so she has one record, one identity gets you multiple programs. Now, the real world example. In October 2025, Hurricane Melissa made landfall in Western Jamaica, and Jamaica Red Cross actually ran their response program on this very same platform, but just branded differently, right? And in this case, the Hurricane Melissa Assistance Program, it becomes available for both, for all of the affected population, basically, right? Including both Ms. Williams and Mr. Bennett. So, we're following here Ms. Williams on her phone. She's trying to apply to the program. She's reading the description of the program. She's reading the FAQs, so she knows in advance what she is applying before she actually applies. And the same process, by the way, will be followed by Mr. Bennett's worker, right, in the worker app. She fills the application. Miss Williams fills the application, sorry. She chooses how to receive her money, her assistance. In this case, it will be cash pickup through MoneyGram in Jamaica. And then her application will be submitted. And we will see right now in a second that we will have a milestones of the application, right? Submitted, under review, and approved. So Miss Williams can see exactly where she stands. And again, the same flow will be done for the Mr. Bennett's by the Mr. Bennett's worker. Okay, yes. Just to show you very briefly the milestones. Yes, perfect. So it's the same process for both of them with the same audit trail. And now what we have on the admin panel, this is how basically the program is scoped. The eligibility is configured and the geofence is applied, right? So the geofence is applied to only 3 selected parishes, meaning that only these people who were registered in those 3 parishes are eligible for the assistance, right? So the system handles the filtering of these applications automatically, right? It means that the program manager doesn't need to go through each profile application one by one. Now the operator opens the application group. Right now we're going to have only 2 people here, but in the real world, in real case of Hurricane Melissa response, this view had roughly 7,500 people across 5 parishes, right? And all of them were already in the registry, already consented, even before the hurricane actually hit. Now, the pre-submission check runs. The eligibility of the applications is being validated, and then the applications can move forward. Okay. Last thing, on Miss Williams' end, she's going to receive a push-up notification message, basically, that saying that her assistance was issued. And also, Mr. Bennett will receive the notification either through the worker, right, in person, or via SMS to his basic feature phone. So either way, both of them, they know exactly how and when to receive their assistance, basically, right? So this is the whole journey from the registration to disbursement within the same system, within the same platform, and basically with audit trail available at every step of the way. Yes. That's the demo. Thank you so much. Thank you, technical team. If you're curious, by the way, about this, just come find us today or tomorrow in the conference. I can show you, I can actually give you the app to test on your own, okay? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Maya. Just for the interest of time, we will take a quick question and we'll transition directly into Cedric's presentation. Cedric will be presenting a tech demo called Designing a Field-Ready Warehouse Management System for Humanitarian Operation. Cedric is with Relief Applications. But if you had any questions to Maya or any of the panelists, presenters today, please find them outside after the session concludes. Thank you so much.
Everything's fine. Thank you for having me here. Thank you for letting me speak. Today, I will present you our warehouse and stock humanitarian management system. Wait, one second. It's not the right presentation. Yeah. No, it's not. 1 minute. Sorry. Okay, thank you for waiting. So yeah, I'm going to present you today a presentation about a warehouse management system at Wave Application, and basically what it means to design a field-ready warehouse management system. So what I will do is first, I wanted to explain a bit why it comes to exist. And I made a slide which is a bit dramatic, but it's a bit to highlight the points I want to make. The first thing is, why do we need a warehouse management system, right? And the thing is, I think yesterday Samuel, the presenter here, said that most organizations are donor dependent, and so you really want to keep your donor trust. And I think a warehouse management system is a good point to keep that trust, because basically, if you are able to always produce distribution reports, be able to prove and give clarity on what's happening with your items in your warehouses, you will keep that trust. And that's important because there's still people who manage your warehouse on papers, and that can lead to a lot of issues. Also, not being able to take smart decisions efficiently. If your warehouse are not connected, they have segregated data, how can you make smart decisions? How can you actually do the right movements, be at the right place at the right moment? So I wanted to highlight that because I think it's important for a warehouse management system. I also wanted to highlight why a field-ready management system is necessary. The first thing is basically it's just not adapted to field realities. Most warehouse management systems are not made for the field. They don't have the right features, the right needs, and one of them is being able to work offline, because usually they assume you have a high-speed internet connection. Also, they are usually complex tools, so you need advanced trainings, and this doesn't work on the field when you have high turnover with the staff. So how do you make a tool that is easy to use for the people actually on the field? And basically, this is where came our warehouse management system that we built. Originally, it was for the Red Cross in France, and now it's used in 30 countries. And what I wanted to show you is what happens if you start using the tools. How do you go through the tool and what you will create and how it works? And the first thing is, when you create the tool, you will first kind of design your organization, and by defining in which country you are working, operating, the different delegations, and then each delegation we have warehouses. In this way, you can have like a really organization that can be scaled to whatever your needs are. You're not limited to one warehouse or 5. You can do as much as you want, as much country as you want. And each warehouse are interconnected to have one single system to handle all your stocks. Then, once you have your warehouse set up, you will create projects. Projects is basically a way to track what's happening on your stock. And in the projects, one thing that makes it feel ready is the project donors. Because when you create a project, you will indicate who are your donors. In that way, you are always able to track the items that were donated by the donation from these donors, and make sure that you can always give them back their reports and showing them, hey, this is what happened with your donation. So once you created your warehouses, you will start filling the stock. So you will have different movements, inputs, outputs, and everything is validated. Everything is controlled, so you can have the best quality data as possible, because that's extremely important. And the movement themselves are also like field ready in a way that they are set up in a way that are for the fields, made easy for the operators. Typically, donation or distribution is not something you usually see in commercial warehouse management system. And yeah, one other thing is the mobilization table that you can have on warehouses. So in the tool, you can create this pre-prepared requisitions order when you can see exactly how much quantity you have, how much quantity you requested. You can save them, and you can just pull them out when you need them to be able to be efficient and active when you need to move some stock. Yeah. So the interesting thing as well, and what makes this really field ready, is the fact that it's mobile friendly and it's offline. You can completely use the platform offline, and the tool comes with a desktop version, but also with a mobile app version, which helps you having access to the same data. And this is really made for the operators, right, on the field, because they don't always have internet, so they can use the app, see all the stocks, all the movements, create different movements, validate them, and it will be kept offline until they get access to internet, where it will be synced up with the platform, and then the whole organization have access to this information through all the warehouses. Also, the whole platform works with QR codes. So whatever is stock detail, an article sheet, movements, you always have a QR code that helps you get access to the data. And you can print them. So it's very easy with a phone. You just take it, you scan it, and you have all the information you need to keep moving forward. And this is very important for the operators because, like I said, there's a high turnover and you want a tool which is simple. So using these QR codes make it very simple for them to use. They just have to scan it and it works. And there's many features. I didn't want to go through all of them because I was not sure how much time I had to present it. And I think it's nice because I'm last and we are a bit late. But we have some reportings that you can make. You can export all the data. You have maps where, like here, when you can actually see where items are in which warehouse on the map. You have a kitting system. So instead of moving items individually, you can build kits and move them as kits. And there's other things again. But the thing is, this platform, I can give you access to an open version, which is refreshed every day. You can play with it. You can break it if you want. You can have a lot of fun. And I'm happy also to guide you through it if you have specific needs. And yeah, that's it. There is the last point I wanted to talk about. I did that last minute because I realized here everybody talk about it. And surprisingly, we didn't hear it at all in this talk yet, is AI. So what about AI? And I think this is an interesting topic. I won't dive into it like everything we can do, but what about AI and warehouse management system? Is it going to replace it or not? I think it's a great playground because if you think about your warehouse management system, it's all your data, which are curated, good quality data, and all your warehouses at one single place, which means you could connect to AI and start prompting that information in the warehouse, asking questions like, hey, where are all these stocks for this donor? Do I have enough of these items to answer this emergency? And this AI would be actually really good at doing these kind of things, also analyzing maybe like movement patterns or this kind of thing. So I think when we think about AI, everybody thinks it's going to replace everyone. I think it's mostly going to help everyone doing better. And yeah, I just wanted to say that about AI and warehouse management system. And yeah, basically that's it. I try to make it short to keep on the time. What matters, what I think, when we think about what is a field-ready management system, it's basically a system that keeps your donor first, but serves your operators, your field people first. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cedric, and thank you to all the presenters today. They'll be around. Please find them and talk to them and ask them a lot of questions. And please join us back here at 4 p.m. for another round of tech demos on digital transformation. So one last time, give a round of applause to Theo, Cedric, Elaine, and Maya. Thank you so much.